Get it, bro. We out here with the man of the hour, bro. One
Let's
got
go.
beats.
Let's go.
He's gonna be
Yes,
showing up
sir.
tomorrow, literally tomorrow, bro, for the first ever battle for the producer tournament that's coming up, man, versus Crypto Beat Radio, who has been talking a little bit of shiitake mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? We go, we gonna see what it do. You know, we gonna
Nah,
talk about what's up, what's
nah,
up.
I was gonna say, me and Crypto Beats, man, we got a long going, a little friendly rivalry,
Of
So
course, of course.
this is gonna be very interesting to say the least. Bragging
I already
rights
know.
are definitely, the stakes are high, and there will be a lot of shiitake talking after
Yeah,
this one. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about, bro. You know what I'm
You know
saying?
what
I
I'm
think
saying?
I think a little bit of shiitake mushrooms is part of a healthy diet, you know, if you ask
Yeah,
me.
hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? It keeps everything going.
Yeah. Well, shoot, man. We about to get into the one story, bro. One, bro. Name is crazy, first of all, bro. Like let's get into that. You know, first I've been asking folks like why they choose their names. So I want to know like why one, bro. Like what's up with that?
It's a bit of an acronym, right? So like it's obstacles never end, overcoming negative
Yo.
energy. A lot of it started from like graffiti shit when I was younger. I used to do like a lot of, well, you see, I still do like art and shit. So
Yeah.
um, so a lot of that stemmed from that. But it just stuck with me, bro. Like it was like, I have like different. It's weird because I have like a bunch of different names, and then you can tell who knows me from where based on what they call me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Interesting.
it's real funny. Like my family calls me one name. Like the people that work with me call me by my government. Like people I grew up with in the hood, they know me by Lax. You know what I'm saying? So it was like there was like a lot of different. So it's funny because it's like depending on what they call me, how they know me. So it's pretty cool.
Thanks. That's kind
Yeah,
of tough, bro. Like you got your own, codex. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Going down, bro. But that's tough, man. So out of all the names, which ones do you like being called the most? Like,
Well,
you know,
one has been like the longest. Like the more dominant one of the group. Like all my family, they call me Joey because
yeah.
my father's name is Joe, so they call me Joey. My government's Jose. So, but nobody ever calls me Jose. Everybody knows me as either like one Lax or Joey. So it's
Yeah.
like it's real interesting.
Yo, that's what's up, bro. Where you from? You got like an accent, but I can tell you got some kind of mixture going on. I'm trying to figure.
Born and raised Brooklyn, New York.
Okay,
But
okay.
I've lived in a few different places. Right now I'm in Florida. I just moved out to Florida last year, so we just made 1 year out here.
Let's
Um,
go.
yeah, so I love it out here though, man. It's cool. It's,
No, I mean like ethnicity, like
oh, ethnicity. I'm Puerto
yeah.
Rican.
Ah, okay, okay. Puerto Rico, bruh.
Yes, sir.
I've
Yes,
been
sir.
hearing about that, bro. Like it's a tax haven and all type of
I
stuff.
mean, it is, yo. It is, and
Yeah.
it's a gift and a curse. You know what I'm saying? Because
Uh,
it's a tax haven, you got a lot of people that come from the outside to exploit the tax codes, and there's
damn.
a lot of abusing of those tax codes, and like now, the people that are from there and that live there are ultimately being outpriced, because you have all these
Damn.
people that are coming there, using those tax codes to their benefit. So and then you got people that are countering, like shout out to Bad Bunny, like he's out there performing only in Puerto Rico, bringing, a lot of money back into the ecosystem out
Facts.
there, by exclusively performing out there. So, like by doing that, he's generating like millions of dollars for the island,
Mhm.
through tourism, through hotels and air travel and all the other, companies and businesses that are benefiting from him being out there and doing that. So, there's a little bit that kind of balances it a bit, but it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah, man. That definitely interesting. And like I think Puerto Rico has like a lot of influence for such a small, like country. You know what I'm saying? Like especially recently. Is there a reason behind this boom? Is it just Bad Bunny or like
Nah, bro. Listen, Puerto Rico's had an influance on the culture since the '80s, since like the early
right?
'80s, late '70s. When you talk about the salsa movement coming to New York. You know, the whole the Puerto Rican culture in New York, and um, you know, in poetry and music. You know, the reggaeton movement. There's been
Facts.
a lot of different movements that have come through Puerto Rico. You know, and I think that a lot of it is just you know, the energy of the island. You know, the energy of the people, the culture, the pride. You know, like it's we are a very resilient people.
No, that's beautiful, bro. Beautiful to hear. Let's get into the music journey though. Like where'd you start? You start young, you start old. What's the word,
Yeah,
bro?
I was like 17, 16, 17 when I started writing music. Um, and
As like a rapper or like beats?
yeah, like
Oh,
I
you a
started as an
rapper?
artist. So I don't rap, but I used to. I did a lot of writing, and my
Ah,
first introduction to I signed as a writer and an artist for an independent label, in like early 2000s. You know, like 2002 ish. Yeah, maybe like 2002, 2003.
how'd you
I
do
signed.
that? How'd you get signed?
So this I used to go to this recording studio in the projects where I used to live. Like my man had a recording studio in his crib, and everybody from Van Dyke recorded with Wise Choice.
Right.
That was the studio, and it was in his apartment in the PJs. He lived like five buildings down from me and shit. I used to walk to his crib,
Tough.
and long story short, he was starting a label. He got like some backing, financial backing with this Jewish lawyer that was basically like funding his this dude's label, and
Ah,
he signed me. He signed his cousins who were in a rap group. He signed another rap group, and then he had a couple of solo artists. And one of the things that I would do as being signed to the label was I would sit in on the sessions and kind of just help them formulate songs. You know, I would write lyrics, I would, you know, record lyrics, shit like that. And we had a nice little run. And then we went to Macon, Georgia to kind of like expand and shit and kind of like you know, go out there and kind of like we had like some you know, we had shit bubbling in Brooklyn, and then we were like, well, let's, you know, let's venture off and let's see what like down south looks like. So we went down
facts.
south and we were out there for a few months, staying in Macon, Georgia, and yeah, man. Long story short, like it just kind of ended bad because um, you know, we was doing like some side hustles to, you know, to kind of keep funds afloat while we was, you know, funding the label, and
Mm,
part of that was like selling we was selling software. You know what I'm saying? Like he was
like what?
like Pro Tools, like you know
Oh shit.
what do you call that shit? Rosetta Stone. Like yo, we was
Right.
like, you know, on the internet.
Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, bro. Like my man had the CDs. We had we had the disc maker. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
actual CD press. We was buying like bundles and bundles of blank CDs. We was pressing up
Damn.
software. We, you know, we had a nice little hustle going and shit. And one day, me and his cousin was in the Chinese restaurant, and he was posted out front selling a fucking some I think it was like a copy of Pro Tools or something to some lady, and police ran down on him. They thought he was selling
Damn.
bootleg DVDs. You know what I'm saying? And they, you know, they confiscated the shit. They locked him up. You know, um, and you know, I stuck around for a little bit. We got his bail money up, and then when we spun back to Atlanta, I ended up when we spun back to New York, I should say, from down south. I started working with Sony BMG, and
Oh,
that was kind
tough.
of like the next step for me. So I was working in Sony Music Studios as a client service coordinator, and I met like a bunch of producers, a bunch of engineers, and by that time I was making I had just started learning how to make beats.
Ah,
So so it's cool because like now it's like from working with the engineer and working with the producer who he was making all the music for them. He like inadvertently I was learning how to record music and learning how to make beats, you know, like from being in the studio with him all the time. So when I went over to Sony BMG, it was kind of like the same shit. I got in cool with the engineers. I got in cool with some of the like in-house producers, and they would just let me kick it in the room with them while they was working. And I would just twist up. We would smoke, and I would just watch them do their thing. Kind of like a fly on the wall, just paying attention,
Right.
not really, not really trying to be bothersome, but just paying attention and like really watching. And some of them were cool, man. Like they were really like they would talk about their process and explain to me what they were doing. A lot of the GAs, the general assistants, like a lot of them were coming from like Full Sail, so like they went to school for engineering
Right.
and production. So they was like, fresh out of school teaching this shit to me. Like, so I'm getting the information secondhand from
Yep.
motherfuckers that just came out of Full Sail. They literally giving me the whole crash course and like, yo, do this, yo, you gotta do this and fuck around and do that. And so that was dope. I worked with Sony Music Studios for 2.5 years, and then they ended up closing out the studio. From there, I bounced around to a couple of other studios, and then but by then I was already like, kind of like making beats and learning my shit. And I got to learn from like some crazy ass producers, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo.
Like, shout out to like my man Angel, who's a producer for Lil Wayne. I got
Talk.
to sit in and watch Swizz Beatz fucking make shit.
What?
I was like, yeah, bro. So I was like really like, Guru, from
Guru from
Guru,
nah, no way.
Rock Nation. Yeah, Guru. Like Jay-Z's
What?
nephew. Yeah, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. So like I hold those fucking like those experiences, like I hold them like here because I got to see a lot of the people who are like who were behind everything that was popping in that time frame. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Right.
'06, '07 time frame. Like there was like so much shit popping off. And like to be in the studio and see a lot of this shit and be behind the scenes and watch how fast, like sometimes you hear these songs that don't come out for years, but then on the flip side, it's like, yo, they made this song 2 weeks ago, and now that shit is on the radio. You know what I'm
Damn.
saying? Like to see,
Yeah.
like, so it was a really interesting experience, like working at Sony, and then after that, I worked at another studio in Times Square for like a year, and then by then I kind of just like went on a little creative rabbit hole and just was like making beats and like not working, just like kind of like doing like little hustles here and there and shit, just to keep the bills paid. And then I started working with artists and releasing music. And shout out to like my man, also my man Matthew Ragazzino, my man Avon Bloxdale. Like those are like independent artists from Brooklyn that like my first couple of like songs on the radio, my first couple of placements was with them. And then um, my homegirl Joanne Onfrey, she used to work at Complex. She she came to a listening party that I did for like a instrumental project that I had released in like 2016, and she was the program director for media at Complex, and she was able
Talk.
to get like four of the records from that project that I put out placed in a Complex documentary. So Complex got the check. They get I sent them the beats. We kind of did that, and then at that time I was living in Virginia, and I like after that I was like, yeah, I got to come back to New York. Like too much shit is bubbling. I got shit going on. Like I got to get back to where it's at. So um, it was crazy, bro. It was a nice little run. And then I think like and my biggest record to date was I co-produced a record with my man Angel, who's Lil Wayne's producer, and it was called Blood Clot, and we actually like Lil Wayne got on it and everything,
What?
and they leaked it
Yo.
in 2018, I think. In 2018, that shit got leaked, and it had a Sam Smith sample, and it was supposed to be on No Ceilings 2 or one of the. I think it was supposed to be for No Ceilings 2, and then it ended up not making the album. So,
Dang. Cause it
but
was leaked or
well, I think partially because it was leaked. The other part was they probably weren't able to clear the sample.
mm,
It was like a Sam Smith song, and shit like that be kind of like so. Either way, I don't know why, but it didn't get out. But like at the same time, there was like two or three other records that we had worked on together that we were kind of waiting to see if it would make the cut. But that shit didn't pan out. But to this day, like I still got that record fucking like on my
Nah,
hard drive.
facts.
I still be bumping that shit every
Of
now and
course.
then. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy to hear like somebody like Wayne on some shit that I worked on. I was like, yo,
Damn.
yeah. So it's crazy because every now and then, like even with this last Carter album that came out, like my man hit me, he was like, yo, if you got some joints, bro, send them over. I'm sending shit his way. So, anytime I get those messages, I'll just shoot him over a pack, like, yo, bro, just and still waiting for something to catch.
There you go, man. I mean, it sounds like you got a lot of experience, like behind the scenes in the industry, et cetera, et cetera. What's your sentiment on the current like music industry, music landscape right now? Because I've talked to a few people by now, and it seems like there's been kind of a lull. You know what I'm saying? In like the general music industry, it ain't been as nearly as popping as back in 2016, like kind of the era you was talking about, 2018, where shit was just
Yeah.
going crazy. Like, what do you think caused that? What's your thing? What do you think is the vibes now? You think it's gonna change? What's up? What's your position?
I mean, me personally, I think streaming platforms is responsible for like the downward
Mm,
trend in music. Because
I
now,
feel that.
with people having access to streams, record sales are at all-time lows. Because people
Mm,
aren't actually buying the digital download, they're just streaming. So now it's like the new metrics is streams. It's not record sales. You know,
right.
and I think that that's kind of what made the water murky. Where now it's like, you know, um, you got people practically consuming music for free. So now
Facts.
there's no value. So people don't see the value in music the way that they did before. Like we used to wait online for albums to come out. Shit used to be
Right.
sold out in stores on back order. You know what I'm saying? Like there was that
Yeah.
level of demand for music. You know what I'm saying? It was like when you had that CD and you pulled that plastic, or like people was buying two, three copies. Like I'm buying one to keep, one to listen to,
Man.
one to get signed if I ever see this person. Think about that
Damn.
shit. Like we don't got that no more. There's no what artist has that level of demand? Now the demand is in the live performance. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? So like now it's like the tours, like that's why you see like these big mega tours. You see, shit like that because that's where the demand has pivoted. Where like now, well, the money was always in performing. It was always show money. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like the record sales was something to kind of like fall back on. Where now
right.
it's like you see artists taking different approaches, like doing bundles, like doing
Hmm.
like direct to consumer drops, like doing their own merch, like having promo tours and having the tour merch. And we dropping a different T-shirt at every city. If you come to each city and you got all the
Hmm.
shirts, you get the like shit like that. Like
Yeah.
artists are really finding ways to um kind of reignite their audience and their fan base in a way that like um I don't think we've really seen like that before. So it's like that's kind of what I like about Web3,
I
because I
was
think
about
with
to get
Web3,
into it.
right? Well, yeah, because like now pivoting into Web3, it's like you know you got to be a lot more hands-on with your audience. You got to
Mm,
be a lot more direct um with your community, with your fan base, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Buzzword, buzzword, buzzword. Like it's all the same shit. But I think that the people that struggle with that are the people that don't necessarily have those interpersonal skills to deal with people,
mm,
or the people that tend to have like that social awkwardness where they can't really like connect with people.
mm,
Um, so you see, like sometimes with Web3, it might not be the who's more talented. It's about who has the better interpersonal skills with people, who can
facts.
sit in a space and actually get people's attention. You know what I'm saying? Who can
Hmm.
articulate in ways to kind of like spark ideas and generate interest. And that's kind of like I think that with Web3, it's more a portion of you're selling yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm,
and,
facts.
and the music is kind of secondary. Whereas, like, if the people don't like you, they're not even going to give your music a try. You know what I'm saying? Where
Right.
before was like people love your music. They don't even care if they like you because they love your music.
Facts.
Now it's kind of like a reverse dynamic where you're the magnet that pulls them in, and then the music is the net that keeps them. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
So now that the music industry has flipped because I completely agree with you in the way you're speaking, like even on the wider music industry as well, like aside from the legacy acts, like the Travis Scotts and Drake, et cetera, the people that popped off, when it was just the music. Like it seems like nowadays the new stars or whatever, the new people coming up are exactly what you're talking about. People that are either streamers or like people that the audience gets to interact with on that deeper level. And I want
Mhm.
to ask you, man, is that sustainable? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you can only show so much of your life. It's getting to for I don't know if you've seen the whole streamer thing, but it's like it seems like the more they stream, the more they show, the deeper that fan connection gets, which is beautiful. But it's like how like is it about to be like their whole life? You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's the Truman Show, bro. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? When you think about like everybody was captivated by that. See, like reality TV was so was so captivating in the beginning because people thought it was real.
nah,
And
real
then they
talk.
realized that reality TV is scripted and
Mm,
it's not real. So it's all dramatized.
mm,
Streaming is the new reality TV because
facts.
now you get the unscripted version. You get to see like who these people really are, how they interact with each other. You get like if the argument's real. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If we going at it, like it's unscripted. You get like that raw emotion. And I think that in a time where everything is so scripted and performative, people are
Mm,
looking for something real.
that's
And
real.
that's why I think that streamers are so successful, right? Is it sustainable for some people? Yeah. If you're yourself the whole time and you're not acting, you can fucking stream everything because people fall in love with the personalities and the people. Now, if you're playing a role and you're portraying a
Mm,
character, and that's what you have to do to garner that level of audience and fan base, that isn't sustainable because
right.
eventually who you are is going to start to bleed out. You know what I'm saying? And people are going to start to see behind the character. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
real.
I think if you are an authentic person and you're trying to lure in people that are genuinely interested in what you do, you'll be fine. If you're
That's
trying
real.
to grab everybody and be like palatable for everyone, you're gonna lose yourself, or you're gonna
Mm,
lose people in interim because it's like I can't I can't be a lefty and a righty at the same time. I can't be fucking liberal and conservative at the same time. You gotta pick a lane. And some
mm,
people are too busy trying to grab everyone that is like you lose so much trying to grab everything instead of just focusing on that one lane. Like
that's
my,
real.
my advice to people is always like just be you unapologetically. Like you can build a community that will gravitate towards what you do if you're yourself. You know what I'm saying? But the minute you try to be a character or a role, you know what I'm saying? Like now you got to continue to play that. How long can you be that person? Where if I'm me all the time, I don't have to be palatable for everyone. I just need to
Yeah.
be palatable for the people that fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And if I could garner enough people that fuck with me, then you know what I'm saying? I don't need everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like one
facts.
thing that stuck with me, like shout out to my man Kane Mayfield because he put me up on so much game when I was getting into like the
Shout out
way
to the guy for real, bro.
that's my
But go
guy.
ahead. Yeah.
And he said, "Yo, all you need is 1,000 collectors, bro. He's between 1,000 and 5,000 fans, like that'll buy your shit. Because if 25% of those people, 25% of 5,000 buys your shit every time you drop, they don't got to buy everything you drop.
Mm,
But if you could get 25% of them to pick up something when you drop, if you drop 4 times a year, every 3 months, you just got to drop something at a price that you're comfortable with every 3 months. And if you do that, A, you can live off that. B, all you got to do is continue to feed them, which is dropping consistently and maintain a level of visibility, bro. Just pull up. I got Music Mondays. Music Monday every Monday, 6 o'clock till whenever I close. I don't even have a set time. I be telling them like, yo, bro, however long we be here is up to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I open the room, I play some beats, motherfuckers come, we talk music, we banter, we shit talk, you know, we talk music, we go over music, and then it's like if 100 people pull up and 5 of them are active, the room goes as long as 5 people are active. The minute that the shit gets dry, I'm like, all right, we out. And I'll see y'all next week.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? But in the same time, you know, I'm pulling up to, you know, a duck set space in the morning. You know, like if I wake up early enough to catch him, you know what I'm saying? I'll pull up to shout out to Violetta. Violetta be having her spaces on Thursday. Shout out to NFT Record Shop. NFT Record Shop does their spaces on Fridays. You know, so it's like if you're around enough where the music people are seeing you, they're hearing you, and they know that like people buy shit from people that they see around that they can trust or that they like whether it's the music or the personality. So you know the easiest thing to do is just spin these Twitter blocks, pull up in a couple of
Yeah.
spaces, say talk, chime in, have some good conversation, and like know what you're talking about. Don't just sit there and buzzword motherfuckers, because like a person like me, I see that shit coming a mile away. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker he just sitting here engagement farming, like, you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly the post you're talking about. But yo, so you said a few things that I want to talk about, and the first being, like, now that music has shifted in this way, do you think like there will ever be superstars again? You know what I mean? Because it's seeming like, just like what you said, it's like getting to be more and more niche as time goes along. So like, how do you think like music artists, producers, whatever, anyone who creates music should move in these days going forward? Like, instead of the shotgun approach of I'm trying to be a superstar, how do you, like, what if you were a manager, if you had an artist with you, if you making beats for them, how would you advise them how to move in these days? You know what I'm saying?
I would say work with anyone who you think meshes well with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be like, collaboration has always been a driving force for exposure, right? Because like
Yeah.
now, like me working with, like, for example, when we did the Indica Dream record with Thanos, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
that was kind of like a trifecta where we were able to open Thanos up to people that maybe didn't know of him through me, vice versa, people that that didn't know of me through him. We were able to introduce Maya, and then have Maya introduce us through her channel, right? So there's three different ecosystems of people and networks that were exposed to each other. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So I think that collaborating with artists where it makes sense and it's not forced, collaboration is a big thing. And then just also consistency, like not just with the music, but also with the exposure to your audience. I think I'm very big on community engagement. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some of my collectors, they got my phone number.
Right.
Like we talk offline. Like when I was back in New York, I was doing events and really like connecting with my collector base. Um, like free events. I'll be like, yo, pull up, fucking only thing I'm selling is merch. I got hats, I got hoodies, I got t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not charging y'all to get in. Some of the times it was even like open bar situations. I'm like, yo, y'all not even paying
Oh
the
shit.
drink, just come, like, you know what I'm saying? And I'll take care of the rest. So I think that having that level of a relationship, that's not um purely transactional, like I think that
Mm.
that goes a long way. Like I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to squeeze money out your pockets every time we do something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where it's
Right.
like it's very much like, yo, we could connect and chill, and then when it's time for me to get on, transaction mode, and it's like, I bet, though, this is what we're doing, we dropping this. But like in my experience, I've given away probably just as much as I've made here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Right.
Is that like Sustainable, maybe not. It depends. Like right now, like I'm in a position in life where it's like I'm not eating strictly off of like my Web3 shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a
Mhm.
career where I do pretty well, so I don't really need to rely on this strictly for income. I do it for the love. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm an artist. I'm a producer. You know, I make physical art. I make digital art. I make music, and I think that having avenues to expose people to that art and that music is important. So I have different avenues, whether it's putting my art in galleries, putting my art in locations for people to see, putting out digital art, putting out music collectibles, collaborating with artists. It's that's where it's a level of sustainability because now it's like I'm I'm a crypto person. Like
Right.
legit, I was fucking with crypto before I even knew about NFTs. So my shit was like, if I could get paid for my art in crypto, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, and what I've seen, is that a lot of people here aren't necessarily crypto people.
Interesting.
So they get they bag, but then they cash out. You know?
Ah. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like where with me it's like, yo, I'll sell shit. I'll drop something when the prices are down
Right.
because I'm gonna let that shit sit anyway. Market go up, yeah, I might have made $1,000 on a drop, but now my $1,000 turned to $4,000
Nah,
because
real.
I kept it in the crypto wallet and I didn't cash out. You know what I'm
Real.
saying? So everybody here play the game different. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think there's any specific rules to this. I think the only rule is to do good business
Agreed.
and don't overpromise and underdeliver.
Totally agree, bro. Yeah, I love your philosophy, and that speaks to why you have such a strong reputation in the space. I remember for even the last Wave Wars battle we had, a lot of people was like, "Yo, like one creme," like they had a lot of good things to say about you. You know what I'm saying? And
Shout
and
out
that's
my guy
how the
Crimes.
yeah, you already know, bro. You already know. So yeah, let's actually get into the tournament. As a matter of fact,
Okay.
who in the bracket, what I'm saying, besides yourself, do you think has the ability to win it all?
I think Porky is gonna be a problem for a lot of people. I'm
Interesting.
not even gonna lie. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Porky, because the shit about Porky, right, is that he has a wide range of music. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
And the thing that I love about Porky is that he's mad humble. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like Porky's like he's a solid, humble dude, and he let his music do the talking for him. And I think that
Thanks.
that's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because Porky, like, yo, listen, there's some music Mondays. It just be me and Porky playing beats, and we'll just go joint for joint for fucking hours, bro. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Porky's catalog is long as fuck, and he hasn't been making music really long. You know what I'm saying? So for
Yeah.
somebody that hasn't been making music that long to have a catalog that long, like that motherfucker works, bro. Like we have
Exactly.
this, I told him I was like, his beat tag should be, "Oh, I just made this," because every time we in the room, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna
I
play
just
this. I just made this. I just made this." You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so I know I'm like, yo, that motherfucker working, and like the shit is like myself, Porky, he a family man. You know what I'm saying? He got a family. He got, you know what I'm saying? He worked. He got a whole fucking, a whole job, a whole career that he. So I can't even imagine how much shit he, how his time management works. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Because, like I got a social life. I like to be outside.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, but so when I lock in, I'm locking in. But like with him, it's like, yo, I don't know what kind of batteries he using, bro.
I said the same thing.
He's a fucking beast, yo. So I definitely think Porky is gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
I think Crypto Beats Radio is another one, bro. He's been making music for a
Yeah.
long time. So I'm definitely interested in tomorrow because I'm coming with my
Thanks.
18 for that motherfucker, bro.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
yeah, crypto. Listen, me and Crypto Beats Radio been in a few spaces. Shout out to WaveWarz. I'm not WaveWarz. Wave Root Radio.
Oh
Wave Root.
yeah, I heard about Wayru. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we was in a Wave Root room one night, bro. It was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, bro. Me and this motherfucker was just going beat for beat for almost like an
Damn.
hour, bro. And it was like next thing I know, I get a knock on the door. and it was like fucking sheriff, like, yo, we got a noise complaint, you know. I
Dead
was like, oh, yeah,
ass.
yeah. I was like, yo, it was crazy because I'm in the space, but I'm on mute. So he's like, you ready one? Come on, let me get another one. I was like, yo, listen, battle's over. I was like, it's over. Y'all motherfuckers is gonna get me in trouble. I'm about to get kicked out my crib. Like, nah, bro, we're not doing this right now. But yeah, man. So me and Crypto Beats got a long lasting. We be sparring in these spaces with the beats.
Exactly.
Man. So I got a lot of respect for him too, man. He got a nice catalog too. But like for me, like aside from myself, bro, I feel like my money's on Porky, bro. Like Porky,
Yeah.
again, like you know what I'm saying? He's a beast.
Now I heard that's pretty much what a lot of people are saying right now. A lot of people are saying the same thing, but hey, you never know what's gonna happen until it happens. You know what I
Hell
mean?
yeah, hell yeah.
According to Porky, he has been beaten before. So
I mean,
I'm
yo,
like,
listen, again, you know what I'm saying? I think, and I might be biased because that's my guy. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right, right.
But like for sure, like I know that he's not gonna go down without a fight. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
agreed.
He got a lot of joints, and I feel like he could really pull from so many different bags that it's like if you know, depending on who he going up against, man, like they gotta, because he got high energy joints, he got vibey
Facts.
joints, he got the R&B joints, and the thing I love about Pork is that he's another one that he's working with so many artists out here, like the Web3 artists, he's working with everybody. You
That's
know what I'm
facts.
saying? So
Including me.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm
And
saying?
that's why I think that's why that's helped him get the level of exposure that he's gotten here in the space too, because he's working with so many talented artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just already released, but stuff that's coming down the pipeline too. So yeah, I'm excited. This shit's gonna be fun.
Yeah, the silent killer, bro. That's what I called
Yeah,
him
man.
yesterday.
Yeah, he's a sniper. He's fucking with the silencer.
You know what I'm saying? That's it, bro. But yeah, man. One of the last questions, because it's only supposed to be 30 minutes, but like it's such
Okay,
a pleasure talking to you. Like I got so many questions.
thank you.
But when we talk about like the future of Web3 as a whole, like do you think it's getting bigger from here? How do you think it gets bigger? Do you think it'll ever be mainstream? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think?
Mainstream, I think we're a long ways from that, right? When people talk about like mass adoption and all of that shit, I don't see um every person that's gonna consume music will get a crypto wallet. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
I think that's a stretch. We're a long way from that. Um, what I think is that artists need to really focus on building out their audience and finding ways to um, give a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always been a advocate of like utility. And even though people be like, "Oh, utility is a buzzword. What's the utility? The utility is the music. The music is the utility." All right, bro. Y'all can say that shit all you want,
yeah,
but
thanks.
if you wanna ask for more, you got to give more. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? We could sit here and we could sell, you know, a dollar NFTs, dollar singles, $5 singles. We could do that shit. Is that gonna change the scope of what's been done with iTunes or all these other platforms that have sold music online before? No. I think that the real flex is in smaller drops, more expensive drops. You know what I'm saying? And I think that some artists get scared because they feel like, oh, nobody's gonna spend $50 for a single. Nobody's
mm.
gonna spend $100 for an NFT. I disagree. You know what I'm saying? I think that some people will. I'd rather sell five NFTs at $100 a pop than sell 500 $1 NFTs.
I see what you're saying, bro. Now I feel that.
That's been my position. You know what I'm saying? Some people look at my prices and they're like, "Yo, bro, like you bugging? You selling a fucking music video for $100? Like that's." But if I'm getting 5, 6 sales here, 5, 6 sales there, I'll take the 5, 6 sales. You know
No,
what I'm
that's
saying?
right.
I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to sell a dollar song to 500 people, it's quality over quantity. You can have 100 pennies or you can have 4 quarters. I'll take the
Mm,
4 quarters. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm carrying around less baggage with that. You know?
Nah, put that in a bar, bro. You said you a songwriter.
Yeah, bro. Like,
That's tough.
and that's how I look at it. Like, give a little more, bro. Like, shout out to music. You know what I'm saying? Music is he get it. He doing the bundles. He's doing skateboards. You know what I'm saying? He's doing
Oh, that's tough.
merch. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you buy the NFTs. Somebody wins this. You know what I'm saying? For my last drop, like one of my collectors is gonna win this.
Nah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And the crazy shit is each collector has their name written on here. So I done graffiti this whole
Ah,
shit up. And once I sell the last four, because there's only four left, I gotta add four more names on this, and then this shit is gonna go home with somebody. You know what I'm
nah,
saying?
that's tough.
Like, so it's like physical, tangible goods, merch, bundles, and of course the number one utility for music NFTs is always gonna be supporting musicians directly. But I think that the musicians just gotta think outside the box and find ways to give a little more. Shout out to my man K Mayfield. Like again, look at this fucking drop, bro. Like look at this shit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I got the box set with the fucking
That's tough.
with the signature. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit
Yeah.
comes with like a plethora of you know what I'm saying? You get the vinyl, you get
Yo.
a fucking thank you letter, you get stickers, you get pins, you know what I'm saying? Like think outside the box or inside the box. However you want to look at it. But like it doesn't have to be the same shit that we've been conditioned to, where it's like, oh, let's sell a song for $1 and try to get 500 people in. You know what I'm saying? Like we could raise the bar. You know what I'm saying? Like Web3 has created a ecosystem and an opportunity for artists to charge more for their music. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to fucking split this shit with nobody. Like if I do a song, it's me and the artist 50-50. If we working on a song together, 50-50 right down the middle, bro. You know what I'm saying? I did the beat, you lace the words, I'll co-market and cross promote it with you, and let's get this bag.
Thanks. Now let me ask you this: what about the whole financial come up side of NFT slash crypto slash music? Do you ever think that's gonna reach like a mass audience? You know what I'm saying? Like people looking to flip music, people looking to flip things like this. Like, what do you think about all of that?
Possibly. I think the same way artists that do like small vinyl drops, right? Like
Mm,
you get some people that are ahead of the curve that buy all the physicals and then they'll flip them on eBay. Like
right.
will the music NFT market ever become that? I think so, but I think that it comes with not oversaturating and putting out fucking 1,000 songs for a
That's
dollar.
real.
Or you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, this is why I say I think smaller curated drops, you create the scarcity value component. You know what I'm saying? Less means more. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? You put out too much of this shit and then you don't sell them all. So now the remaining supply is there, meaning that if there's still like a overstock of remaining value, then the ones that are out there are worthless. Or not
mm,
necessarily worthless, but they're not deemed as valuable because people could always just go to the source. You know what
real.
I'm saying? But if I put out a 25-piece drop and all 25 are gone, now, if you want that, you got to tap in with one of the 25 people that own that piece.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, now it's like, all right, well, if I bought it for this, I'm not going to sell it for anything less than. So now you
Right.
got to make me an offer,
Mm,
or I'm gonna sell it at what I think it's worth. Will the music NFT space ever get there? Possibly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could. I think it could. I
I
don't
think
think
it's good
it's gonna
too.
be anytime like right now immediately, because in music NFTs is the minority stepchild of the NFT markets. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that is. But
Because
but wait. Yes, it is. But like also, it has the highest ability to catch the masses. Like when we talking about
yes, I
music,
agree.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Well, right,
that's the thing.
because right now the people that are in the Web3 space are DJs.
That is.
Most of them are DJs. Let's keep it a buck.
That's facts.
PFP flippers, shit coiners. You know what I'm saying? and rug pullers. Like that's the majority of the NFT space right now. It's people that are looking for quick flips. You know what I'm saying? So those people may not see the intrinsic value of music yet. You know who see? You know what we're seeing right now? What we're seeing in the music NFT space, for the most part, is creators supporting creators.
Facts.
Right? That's what we're
Facts.
seeing.
Absolutely.
And not that, and I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think
At
what
all.
happens is people are saying like, oh well, you know, we're the music enthusiasts. We need to get music enthusiasts here. And it's like the way that you kind of gotta like you kind of gotta trick them into coming here. And I think that the way you do that is by having the physical utility and doing like the vinyl, or creating the kind of like what I did with the Aura project, right? So like part of what I did with that was like the first 9 songs I put on DSPs, right? Because my shit is like, all right, that's how I'm gonna hook the normies, right? And then the next step is I'm gonna do the NFT. What's the NFT? The NFT is 6 more unreleased songs that get attached to the project, and then the songs that are on the project originally are gonna get remixed by some of my favorite Web3 artists and Web2 artists. And
Tough.
then if you want the fucking deluxe edition, you gotta buy that as an NFT. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you lure them in with the free shit, and then if they love it enough to want to go and buy the deluxe edition, then it's like, well, what do I have to do? All right, well, you know, first off, get a crypto wallet. Get a
Facts.
crypto wallet. Throw some bread on the crypto. You're gonna pay me like this. I don't want PayPal. I don't want Cash App. I want, you know, whatever coin I decide to sell it in. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Solana, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's fucking Bitcoin, whatever it is. The whole point is, this is the payment mechanism that I will be using. And just and you don't even have to tell them it's an NFT. It's just like, yo, this is the payment method that I'm using for this album. If you want this deluxe album, you have to pay me this way.
Real.
That's it. We don't even got to say NFT no more, because at this point, people have muddied up the water with the word NFT so much that it's just like, bro, I'm just selling a deluxe album, and you can only pay me in crypto. That's it.
Yep. Dang. That's actually real sauce, bro. And like, I agree. Like, it's definitely going to be a different type of approach. But I think now more than ever is becoming more and more feasible, because the artists are getting upset with the current system. It's not that the fans are upset, because they love it. You know what I'm saying? You can just get on Spotify, listen to unlimited music for $10.99. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like, but the way they fucked up, as in a lot of these streaming services, is they refuse to serve the artists. So like, yeah, now right now it might not seem bad, but day after day, more and more artists are just being like, nah, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? And once it gets to that critical mass,
that's a fact. Rollo had posted this I don't even know the young lady's name, bro, but she was crashing out on her I think it was Instagram or live or one of these shits, but she was crashing out. She's like, yo, I got 100,000 followers and I only got 40 monthly listeners.
Right.
And it's like, what are you doing to drive people towards what you're doing? Right? Because there's a difference between followers and people that are willing to break bread with you. How do you convert? There's a ratio, right? For how to convert your, you know, fucking average social media follower into someone that will potentially like spend money with you, right? And I think that's the source that a lot of people forget. Like they cater to the following aspect without focusing on how to convert them, right? If I had 100,000 followers, bro, first thing I'm gonna start doing is trying to onboard them. Even if I lose 20, let's say I could only convert 10%. That's still 10,000 people.
Yeah, thanks.
That I'm bringing into crypto.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? With a following of 100,000, even if I lose 90% of them, that's still 10,000 people. 10,000 people that now are that you know they could potentially create a wallet, load a wallet, and buy your shit. And then again, only now Now you got 10,000. If 25% of that 10,000 spends money with me, that's still 2,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still 2,500 people.
Yeah.
If I get 2,500 people to spend $50 on an NFT, do the math on that.
You banking, bro.
Fuck your 40 listeners. Fuck Spotify. Fuck this shit. I'm telling you, bro, they got the game fucked up. Like that's
Nah,
why,
that's real.
to me, I'm surprised that more mainstream, larger artists haven't coming over here and
I know
explored
why.
the right way.
That's why I was
Because the
about to.
labels are paying to keep them there. That's why. Because the
That
money's
that and like something I noticed, bro. Like even being in this like crypto music space for the past 3 or so years, I done seen some people be in the crypto space and kind of get a little bit of buzz, but it's when they leave the crypto space and like completely neglect crypto and start talking about crypto that they'll have like a little blow up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it seems like you just like mentioning that stuff to most people, like it I don't know what it does, but like it like puts them off or something. You
bro.
know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
I think for me, some of my favorite Web3 artists are the ones that don't make crypto music. I don't want to hear songs about blockchain.
No. Not crypto music, but I mean like just even mention that you have stuff for sale in crypto or
Yeah, I
NFT
mean,
or just anything, bro. So
listen, bro, it's like this. You can have the popularity,
mm,
right, with the masses, or you can fucking pay your bills with your music. What's more important? And
not that ass.
that's what I look at it. I'm like, fuck the recognition and the admiration and all this shit that like just inflates motherfuckers' egos. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Because to me, the real flex is like when I could say like, yo, bro, for the last 3 years, I've been releasing music with this one wallet. I got fucking X amount of bands sitting in that one
right.
wallet. I'm about to cash this shit out, go pay my rent for half a year, and go fucking travel with my wife and my
That
kids. And my
ass.
music NFTs pay for all of that shit. I don't fuck how many Spotify listeners I got,
Right.
fuck how many followers I got. You know what I'm saying? My social media shit, my shit caps at like 4,000, 5,000 fucking followers. Like both of
Right.
them. Twitter and fucking Instagram. You know what I'm saying? But like that shit don't that's not what's paying my bills. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So at the end of the day, like am I looking for the popularity aspect, or am I looking to have sustainable career,
That
with
ass.
selling your music? You know what I'm saying? Like and that's the shit that it's like you can't have both. There's like a very few that get to do both. So
Mm,
it's like, but I feel like if you pick one, the other will come. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like if you find a way to fucking pay your bills with your music, eventually, like your scale will will raise, and your
agree.
visibility and your algorithm or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? But I think that a lot of artists are short-sighted, and I don't say that disrespectfully. I say that in the sense where it's like, they're too busy they're overthinking it. You know what I'm saying? They put in
Mm.
too much thought, and it's like sometimes you just gotta. This is we throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Basically.
What worked for you may not work for me. What worked for me ain't gonna work. That's why I tell people, I'm like, yo, take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I don't know shit about fuck. I'm just making it work. And it's working. It's worked for me. You know what I'm saying? And I can't say like in the sense where I'm gonna quit my job tomorrow and do this shit full time, but between what I make with my career and then what I make through my art, my music, like not just NFTs, but selling beats, licensing music, selling physical art, selling digital art, I've done art for 3 different NFT collections. Like I'm the artist behind 3 different fucking NFT collections, like doing work for hire shit. Like there's a lot of bread to be made out here just doing
100%.
different things. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to sell your fucking soul or take shorts to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, bro. And yeah, and the next thing I was gonna say that was kind of on one of the points that you was talking about is the whole idea of doing both. I do believe that there will be a time, or a time is coming where folks will be able to do both. Major reason being, people are so frustrated with the old system that because of human creativity and the swelling problem, it's only a matter of time that somebody comes up with a solution that really hits and can go viral, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like, I really do believe in this space. I believe in the technology. I believe in the creators that are here, and I definitely think that like we the pioneers of this shit. At the end of
that's
the
a
day,
fact.
like the only reason that stuff hasn't happened yet is because we ain't done it. You know what I'm saying? And that's it, bro.
Yeah.
So like, I really love what you're doing as far as music wise and the way you think, and like the collectibles you putting out there and the new frame of mind that you putting folks in, bro. And I don't know if you've done this, but like even you just speaking here in this interview just made me realize you have a real talent of conveying the message of like why this stuff is valuable, why this new frame of thinking can really help push people's careers forward, bro. So do what you want with that information, whether you want to start, talking about it or whatever, bro.
I have shout out to Pigeons in New York. I got to speak at their event in New York.
Okay.
Um, I submitted to speak at the Blockchain Futurist Conference in Miami
Fire.
next month in November. So I'm waiting to hear back from them. I've spoken at NFT Philly. I've spoken at a couple of, and even like just and some of the events that I've done, with my community. I always take a couple minutes just to talk about, what I aim to do, what I have done, and kind of like the steps in between. You know what I'm saying? Like how we got from point A to point B, how we get from point, and so on and so forth. Um, I've definitely been a person that's very passionate about the music space, as an artist and as a producer, and as someone that's seen a lot of artists being been exploited, whether it's through labels, through DSPs, through just, I mean, like there's through management, through bad contracts. There's a lot of ways that artists kind of get the short end of the stick, and this is why I feel like bringing people here is so important, because like for the first time in a long time, you get to push all of the middlemen to the side and just
Facts.
deal directly with your audience. But then again, that comes with the responsibility of having that level of visibility, of having that, that that forward mindset to engage with your people. And again, some people just want to make music and be hands off. They don't want to have to, deal with I got to go into a space and talk about my album and talk about this. People don't like shilling, which I completely understand. Like when I first came into the space and had to talk about what I did, it was always like really clumsy and uncomfortable, right? Because I like in a conversation frame like this, I don't mind talking about myself
Right.
in a way where it's like I'm just trying to sell something to a room full of people. That shit is like, really, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
I think that again, there has to be kind of like a space where how do we expose the music to people? That's why I love doing the Music Mondays, because I get artists that come in and like, shout out to Nessie, shout out to Bruce, shout out to Porky, shout out to Thanos, Rock Bully, Rocky Too Grimy. They'll pull up and be like, yo, bro, I'm gonna send you some music, play it, like, and they'll send me joints and I'll play it for the room and just kind of like, yo, look, this is what we got coming down the pipeline. So and so got some music coming out. This person, I'm working with this, I'm working with Nessie, I'm working with Rocky, I'm working with Dan, like, and it's a non-transactional way of making people aware that like we're building and we're putting music out. You know what I'm saying? Without shilling, without fucking being salesy, without being hyper transactional and fucking thirsty, and a lot of the ways that people go about trying to like sell their shit. And it's uncomfortable at times, but we got to push through it. And the best way to do it, I think, is in a group setting with each other, where it's like I'm not just in a room trying to sell you some shit. Let's have a listening party.
Right.
Let's sit here and let's, yo, bro, like I'm gonna do a room, bro. Send me the album, I'll play it. Or you know what? Even better, I'll collect one. I'll send, you know what I'm saying? Like, and let me do a listening party for you. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it like that. We gotta help each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is the opposite of the crab in the barrel mentality. We pull each other out.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? If we pull each other out the box, you know what I'm saying? Then we get to see what's on the other side of it. But like unfortunately in the space sometimes we see, because it's a hyper competitive space, and with musicians we do tend to like get defensive with our music and and the shit around it. We see a lot of like overly competitive conversations or overly like some people unnecessary drama. But like the truth is,
Right.
like we all here in the same struggle, bro. Everybody trying to fucking sell their music. Everybody's trying to get ears and eyes on what they're doing. This shit, it can be life changing for all of us. And I think that changing the temperature of the space and becoming less fucking aggressive with each other and more collaborative, right? And it don't gotta be kumbaya. Everybody don't gotta like each other. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I think that like the public display of fucking drama, could definitely change the scope of the space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, bro. And that's even why, because I'm an artist myself, and like I kind of pivoted in a sense to more, putting more of my energy towards building WaveWarz for that exact reason. Because I realized I was like, yo, let me create something that brings us all together that we can all benefit from, rather than me just focusing on myself, kind of. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
seeing what's sprouted of that has absolutely been incredible, bro. Like the collaborations, the art, the notice, people are starting to notice things, and like outside of our little bubble, etc., etc. So yeah, bro, I think you absolutely right. The more we just use our talents to push forward instead of tear each other down, the farther we gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Especially the fact that everybody's been improving these past few years. When we first got here, bro, the music was not nearly as good as it is now. You know what I'm
Hell yeah,
saying?
that's a fact.
Like,
That's a fucking fact.
you feel me?
Listen, I could not agree with you more, bro. You know,
So that's what it is, man. Let's just keep moving, bro. And I love your sentiment. I love the way you thinking, bro. Hype for the battle tomorrow, but even beyond
so
that, just
crypto
everything
beats, I'm
you
on
doing.
your ass. I'm on your ass, boy. On your ass, boy.
We gonna see what's up. He has some things to say about you too. I don't know if you saw his interview, but hey.
So I was. It's crazy because it's been a long week for me, bro. But I'm gonna tap in because I saw that y'all had the interview. Was it yesterday?
Nah, his was
Day
like
before?
a couple days, yeah, a couple days
Okay,
ago.
okay.
Yeah, man. But
But yeah, I
yeah,
gotta tap in with that shit. That's my guy, though. I fuck with Crypto Beats, man. I love his energy. He's a good dude.
bags. That dude funny, bro. I like
Hell
him.
yeah, hell yeah. Be having fun, man. That motherfucker, his energy is through the roof, man.
Totally agree, dog. But yo, that is it for us today. We are way over time, but that was a great conversation, bro. Shout out to D1, bro. You already know. Find this man,
Yes.
bro. I'm gonna tag you in the post here so folks can be able to find you
Oh
however they
yeah,
see this
please
interview.
do.
But yeah, bro.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for
your
coming
time, bro. I
on.
appreciate you.
Easy. I love to do it, bro. Wouldn't rather do
Let's
nothing
go.
else, man.
Tomorrow,
So
baby. It's on
let's get
tomorrow.
it,
Crypto
man.
Beats, I'm on your ass, nigga. Let's go.
Yeah. Any last words before we close up?
What was that?
Any last words before we close this thing up?
Yo, listen, it costs nothing to support each other, bro. That's it. You know what
Real.
I'm saying? I mean, non-monetarily, but yo, listen,
Yeah.
that's it. Just fuck it, let's do what we do, man. This tournament's gonna be popping. I'm ready
Yeah.
for it. Let's go. WaveWarz with a Z, baby. Bang.
Let's